This last year has not been particularly positive for most, if not all of us. There's still a lot of stress from so many issues that we've never faced before. If you're like most people, you're ready to get back to what life was like before COVID and everything connected to it. But we're not quite there yet, just like we're not at summer quite yet. So let's do what we always do this time of year. Spring clean. Most likely everything could use a bit of attention. The house, the yard, even our mindset. I'm here to help you clear out that mindset negativity. Not all at once, and not all of it, but in a fun, gentle way that's easy to do for yourself as a family activity, an office challenge, or maybe even in a classroom. There's lots of ways to do it, but they all have one thing in common: awareness. We have to become more aware of how much negativity we've got to start with. So welcome to the Spring Positivity Challenge. Let me tell you about it. The goal: to complain a lot less. I mean, there's certainly been plenty of reasons to complain this year, but when we actually stop and think about it, does it make us feel better? Not really. I love the quote by one of the men I studied with. His name is T. Harv Eker, and he said this: "Are you complaining because your life is bad, or is your life bad because you're complaining all the time?" Something to think about, isn't it? Can you imagine if you and everyone around you started complaining a bit less? Was just a little bit negative in general? Things would start to shift, especially over 21 days, which is how long the challenge is, because that's how long it takes to build a new habit. It works. It worked in over 25 high school classes where the room was so positive that people would stop by just to breathe the air in it. Go figure. I mean, literally open the door, stick their head in and say, "Ah, I can feel the positivity." You've been in rooms where the vibe is negative. You know what I'm talking about. You can feel it. You can feel the positivity too. So it's time to start cleaning out our complaining and spring ahead to the world that's waiting for us. If we want a more positive world, and I think most of us do, we all need to do our part. So, are you in? Great, let's go. All right, this will be printed below, but let me read it to you so I don't leave anything out. Here's how you participate. Number one, decide who's going to participate. Is it just you? That's great. Maybe you want to create a team in your family, in your office, in your classroom, or maybe an online group. You decide. We're not going to make that decision for you. We have enough stress. If you're doing this with a group, though, you might want to set up some prizes or rewards. Again, we're going to leave that totally up to you. All right, number two, pick something comfortable you're willing to wear on your wrist for 21 days. You can buy a wristband from a company called, it's actually a church, A Complaint-Free World. They're the ones that have been doing this for years. We're actually modifying theirs. I'm going to use this lovely bracelet that was given to me by the students of Cranston West High School in Rhode Island after I did 2 seminars for the students. You can use a watch if you still wear them, or a Fitbit, anything. I'm going to call it a bracelet just to make it easier. Get something. Start with it on one wrist. I'm going to start with it on my left wrist. Every time you complain out loud, and we're saying out loud because we're not the thought police, we don't want to know what you're thinking, okay? Every time you complain out loud, take it off, put it on the other wrist. Simple, right? Your goal: to have it stay on one wrist as long as possible. That's it. That's basically it. But here's some more details to help make it easier for you and to make it more fun. The challenge begins on April 1st. Good day, huh? And goes for 21 days. We're going to post a reminder every day. We've got one for each day. It's going to be in 2 places. It's going to be on our Facebook page, which is called Success for Life 101. And it's on my Instagram. It's called Fly Horizon because I used to own a company named Horizon Aviation where we flew. So that's the name of it. And I tried to change it, but I goofed it up and I can't change it for 14 days. So there you go. Not complaining. Okay. So we're going to post a picture there with a little inspiration, something you can do that day to help keep you positive. And what we'd like you to do, if you feel like it, you could just do the challenge without this, but we'd love to have this shared and really, spread as far as possible. Post yourself in that challenge or with your bracelet and with the hashtag Spring Cleaning Challenge. And hopefully we'll get lots of people. And the big thing is share with your friends. I'm sure you wouldn't mind hearing a lot less complaining. because we've heard a lot of complaining this year. If you're like me, you probably have. Again, like I said, it's not that we didn't have reasons. The more people we can get on a positive path, the better. So here's some things to think about. As you go through this, be kind with yourself. If you mess up, so what? So what? You put it on the other wrist and you keep going, you know? And you may not even notice it at first. Then you're really going to notice. That's what I find. We've all been complaining a lot. It takes a little bit of time for things like this to kick in, but it's always starting with awareness. At the end of the 21 days, see how long you were able to keep it on one wrist and work out your prize situation with your team if you have one. And we'd love to hear how you did. So your hashtags would help if you want to post that. If you're not a hashtag kind of person, then you can send us an email. It'll be written below. But it's successforlife101program@gmail.com. I stick the word program in there, number one, because it's in the mail, but I couldn't get just the one I wanted. So I'm not complaining. I just couldn't. Somebody beat me to it. So basically that's it. One more thing. If you want to continue the positivity afterwards, I highly recommend doing the Thank a Shining Star card. Now that we're beginning to get out in the world, after being locked down in various ways for a year, it's the best way to say thank you to someone who has good service and a good attitude. And I've got them available. If you want them, you can write to us. You'll see the email, it's successfullife101.com/thank a shining star. You can make up your own. The only reason I'm charging for them now, I've been giving them away since 2011. I actually didn't even say it was me for a bunch of years, but it was me. So I've been giving them out all over the place with a few other people, lots of other people, since 2011, and I've paid for everything up till then. But now there's a possibility it could be a lot of people. So if you want them, you can pick them up. What I charge is exactly what it costs me to make them and to mail them. So we're not doing this to make money. We're here to spread the love. So I hope you'll join us. Spring Positivity Challenge is starting soon. Um, to me, this is like the most amazing spring. We're not only going into a better weather time of year for the northern part of the United States, but we're going into a new world. Still have to keep ourselves safe as best as possible, but things are beginning to open up with the vaccines, with people still being careful enough until we know more. Let's do what we have to do. Let's have the best spring ever. And April 1st is the day. No fooling.